All right, here with Coach U. Really tough game against the Piedmont College Lions. We were down by a lot, came back, were able to take the lead, really rode the up and down of it, but they were able to pull away there at the end. But having seen this team earlier this year, how do you feel like we played the second time against Piedmont?
We started off against them just as bad as when we played them the first time. And, you know, I've told you off camera that I don't want to make any excuses for them. But I do need to be realistic, and I do need to share the fact that they are freshmen and sophomores. Nobody's ever been in a situation like this. But I think a Piedmont team that is veteran-led, you know, they're going to be in a better situation, but with just more experience, they're going to be better able to handle something like this. And you know, and I challenged my guys, and they finished the first half pretty strong, and then they started the second half really strong. And we were down 30 really quickly in the last game we played them, and we had a chance to. It was heading towards us being down 30 again, and not only did we never go down 30, we got up, and I think we were up by 6 or 7 at one time, I forget. And you know, I know Coach Neely really well. When I was in Georgia, I sent kids to play at Piedmont, and where we're at now is where they were at 2 years ago, and that's just in America's quick fix society. They want to skip the pain, they want to skip the learning process, and there's just no way to do it. God did not design the earth that way, but I saw a huge improvement, and that's what I needed to see. They needed to go into Thanksgiving break knowing that they've improved, and they know that. The last 6 minutes, they went on a 17-5 run, and you know, my coaching philosophy is I could probably have stopped it and subbed a little bit more. I could have stopped some of the bleeding, not all of it. But at some point, those guys have to play tired. They have to finish out that, and they can't have me save them. And if anybody watched the entire game, I called the most timeouts I've ever called since I've been here, as if memory serves me correctly. I just kept stopping the bleeding, and I needed to do that to stop momentum, and I did that. But at some point, they're not going to learn if they need to learn how to do that without a timeout, because I'm not always going to have timeouts handy. And I told them in the second half of the immediate timeout, we had 71. I think it was either tied or we were up 1, and I said, we're going to play a very short bench. We're going to finish this game with who we have. You need to tell me if you're tired, but I'm only going to play 7 guys the rest of the way because I want you to finish. And I'm putting you in this position, and I want you to have to learn how to do it, because that's what you have to do in a region championship. That's what you have to do in playoffs. And so, you know, I put them in that situation, and I don't apologize for that. I mean, that's the way that they need to grow. And I thought they did some good things, but I did think that they played tired. So, you know, they've got almost 2 months to get to get in good shape, or 2 months to get in really bad shape. And I'm kind of laying that out there for everybody that, you know, they're going to do pretty well if they come back in good shape. And if they don't come back in good shape, then we're not going to have a very good second semester. That's just the facts.
Yeah, absolutely. This is really unprecedented. We've never really gone into a break like this where you have about 7 weeks off before guys are back playing together. Again, with this young group of guys, young team, very few upperclassmen. What did you challenge the guys with leading up to this game and then going into this long break that we have in order to come back second semester strong?
So I have a captain's council. I have 4 guys that I pour into, and they each have 4 guys that they pour into. And you know, I think that's the model of discipleship. I want each of those 4 guys that are being poured into throughout this year, they're going to pour into 4 people that are not on the team. And so we met over this weekend and tried to brainstorm, and technology can help us with a lot of that. There's through Volt Athletics, they're going to be we can keep track of what they're doing with their conditioning on an app. We can keep control of that. And then we have another app that we're using that helps them with tracking the amount of shots that they get up and all of that. And so the days of texting your coach and saying I got it in, but really sitting on the recliner watching A Christmas Story, those days are over. We can actually see what you're doing and keep each other accountable. And I think the group of captains we have this year are going to do a good job with that. You know, they are young. They've gone through a lot of stuff. They do need they just finished finals. A couple of them had finals all the way up until right before the game started, and so they played just coming from their last final, and that's unusual. We usually don't allow our players to play a game during finals. So I think they've got a good shot, and we've had 10 people in the last 10 D1s in the last 2 weeks try to get a game with us, and I wish that we could do that for their growth. That's something that's always helped guys in our program grow, and I feel bad that we're missing out on those opportunities, but it is what it is, and we're not going to complain about it. We're just going to figure out a way to continue to get better and rest over break.
All right. Thank you, Coach.